Hello everybody, it's Catherine from Jayne Catherine on Books, and I'm here today with one of my duos. If you recall, this series is where I review two books that I've read that have got a very similar theme, and the theme for this particular episode is pain, and I think that's quite relevant to me carrying out the hashtag Mentalhealthathon up throughout the month of May, because pain has a big dramatic impact on our health and well-being and causes depression and all sorts of other mood problems, because it's horrendous. If you've got chronic pain, it really wears you down. So the first one is actually a thriller, and this is by N.J. Fountain. It's called Painkiller, and very good. I gave this 4 stars. And now it's about Monica. She suffers from chronic neuropathic pain. Every second of her life is spent in agony, and she is coping with it the best she can. However, there are whole years of her life which are a blur to her. But when she finds what appears to be her own suicide note, Monica begins to question everything. She has no memory of writing it, so who did? Who did indeed? This is a really fast-paced thriller. It's exciting, you can't put it down. I think that it's got excellent rep in here for someone that suffers from chronic pain, chronic neuropathic pain. It's very debilitating, and people's quality of life really suffers from this. So the characterisation of Monica and how she lives every day is really, really good. But we've got this underlying mystery that's going on. There's something untoward going on in the background, and you get the impression that all isn't what it seems. Is she being set up? She's on such strong painkillers that sometimes she's not really quite sure what day it is, what time of day it is. So a perfect condition really for her to be set up. So I can't say too much about it, because it will really give you too much of an idea what's going on. She's got a very understanding friend, best friend, that's always there for her. Her husband is very supportive of all the problems that she's having, and it really is an excellent mystery. I gave it 4 stars. I didn't quite like the ending. I felt that the ending could have been much stronger. There are 2 twists right at the end, so you're gripped right up until the end. I did guess one of the twists just before it sort of happened. It wasn't obvious all the way through, but just before it happened, and then there was a bit of a twist again. So very enjoyable. I think it's well worth the read. I was just disappointed that I was gripped all the way through, and the ending wasn't as dynamic as I thought it could have been. But excellent characters, excellent rep of someone with chronic pain. So that's Painkiller, N.J. Fountain. So I coupled that with this one, The Problem of Pain by C.S. Lewis of The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe fame, and I was quite surprised to find out that he'd written quite a lot of philosophy books. Sometimes you only get to hear about one part of what some of these writers from years gone by were involved in, but this I thought would be very interesting. It says, whatever your philosophy in life, it will be tested at some point when you encounter or endure suffering. So obviously suffering due to pain in this instance. So I was all excited about this because I have done some work on pain many years ago when I did my diploma in nursing, and I was looking forward to it, but no, sorry. Oh dear, went way over my head. Way over top of my head. I didn't understand what it was on about half of the time. So probably a really good one if you're a philosophy student. Something a bit different if you're at uni, say, doing philosophy. But yeah, way over my head. So DNF'd it. Look, it's pristine condition, so somebody will enjoy that. So that'll be going elsewhere. So that's the two books that I wanted to talk about. It's a bit short and sweet. But while we're on the subject of pain, I just want to mention a book that I've had for many years, and it's a fascinating book. It's called The Challenge of Pain. It's by Melzack and Wall. It's published by Penguin. It is very medically based, so at times it can be a little bit in depth. It can be a little bit, perhaps if you're not in the medical field, too many medical terms, too quite in depth with anatomy and physiology. But it's well worth a read, and I think especially if you do suffer from chronic pain. It's looking into mainly the psychological aspects of pain, and really what makes each individual person feel pain in a different way at a different level. So you'll have heard people saying, oh, she's got a low pain threshold, or that person's got, manages pain very well. We're all individual, and it's really fascinating. It's all about the mechanisms of how physically our body works, so that we actually do feel pain, and how psychological impact on that can make the pain a lot worse. I'll just read this out to you because I thought this was quite relevant. Pain is one of the most challenging problems in medicine and biology. It is a challenge to the sufferer, who must often learn to live with pain. It is a challenge to the physician or other health professional who seeks every possible means to help the suffering patient. It is a challenge to the scientist who tries to understand the biological mechanisms that can cause such terrible suffering. It is a challenge to society, which must find the medical, scientific and financial resources to relieve or prevent pain and suffering as much as possible. We now know that chronic severe pain is a problem in its own right, that is often more debilitating and intolerable than the disease process which initiated it. And I think that sort of says it all. And I think it's relevant because chronic pain has a big impact on mental health and well-being. And it's just something that it's a bit of a pet subject of mine, and I just sort of want to raise awareness about it really while we're doing Mentalhealthathon. So that's The Challenge of Pain by Melzack and Wall. It's a very interesting read. If at times it might seem a little bit in depth, a little bit too medical, I'm sure everybody will find a bit of something in there that's interesting. Right, that's short and sweet, so see you again next time. Bye for now.